What's up, everybody? You are back in here with the Pro Football Pod. You've got Hulk, you've got Coach hanging out with you guys for the Waiver Wire episode for Week 3 in the NFL. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below. Once we hit 500 subscribers, we're giving away a jersey to one of you lucky viewers, as well as every other 500 subscriber benchmark. We'd love to give away 1,000 jerseys. If you help us get there, we'd love to do it for you guys. Tell your friends, tell your family. Coach, Week 2 is past. We're diving into Week 3. It's time to figure out who we can pick up off the waiver wires. The first 4 weeks of the season are typically the hottest week for waivers. So what do we? I think the first guy we should probably mention is Rashid Shaheed.
Agreed.
Like, if you haven't already picked him up, if he wasn't already on a roster, this is probably the last week you can get him freely.
2 solid weeks. The Saints' offense has looked pretty elite.
He's just getting deep shots. They're trusting him with deep shots.
In our preview episode, we talked about how we don't think it's going to continue. That when they play Philly, they're likely not going to be the same that they have been. But that doesn't mean that Rashid Shaheed is not going to be worth having, at least for like a roster spot. I think that the potential of this guy is massive. Chris Olave's drawn a lot of attention, and he's getting a lot more targets, but the big playability alone, Rashid Shaheed is absolutely worth rostering in all leagues. He has to be rostered.
If they're going to give him a deep shot every game, like they're at least going to attempt it a couple times, you absolutely have to. 4 targets, okay, so you want to see more targets, but as a wide receiver too, with deep playability, he turned that into 96 yards and a touchdown. Now, one of them, the longest, was 70, but that's what you're buying in for, is like the boomer bust factor. Robbie Anderson was on plenty of championship teams back in the day whenever he did have 1,000-yard season, because he was getting you stat lines like that every other game.
Exactly.
So you've got to pick him up, because if not, this is the last week you're going to be able to get him.
The other receiver that I think it has to be talked about is Alec Pierce. Now, if you guys tuned in last week, then we talked about how we were more interested in Josh Downs because of what he was going to do whenever he comes back. Honestly, I'm changing speed on that. I think Alec Pierce is absolutely showing up. He got 7 targets this past week, which tied Michael Pittman, and he got more yards, and he got the touchdown. He obviously seems to be a favorite target for Anthony Richardson, and in the offseason he talked about how he wanted to get Alec Pierce to be a bigger part of the game plan week in and week out, even with all these other mouths to feed. So I'm buying in on Alec Pierce. I think I'm easily going to spend my waiver. I'm not even going to try to pick him up off free agency. I'm going to spend a waiver on him if I have like a top 4 waiver.
Yeah, I would, because even if you went ahead and took A.D. Mitchell over Alec Pierce, right now Alec Pierce is just simply the more effective guy. And right now he's the most effective wide receiver on their team. And that goes for Michael Pittman Jr.
Exactly.
So, like, to me, go back to Rashid Shaheed. If you don't get him this week, you're probably not going to be able to get him. So three touchdowns or 2 touchdowns one in each week. That consistency, you're going to start to see that build up. You're going to see that trust build up. You mentioned pre-show how AR-15 or AR-5 now is just kind of mentioned in the offseason. We need to target this guy more. So go ahead. You've got to go snatch up Alec Pierce. And go ahead. Who's the next guy we got?
The next guy, Braylon Allen. I know that he's the number 2 running back, but he's on a great offense, probably going to be a top 10 offense this season. And we've seen how much glass there is in the running back room already for the Jets. Mm-hmm. So I think that taking Breece Hall and getting whatever, even if I don't have Breece Hall, I think I'm still interested, not because of the 2 touchdown game that he had this week, but because of the total utilization. He seems to be getting a lot of red zone work. He's getting decent passing game work. Breece Hall is not just the clear-cut number 1. And Braylon Allen is someone we were very excited about when we were doing our draft previews because of what he did last year in college and just his total profile as a running back. He's not as fast as Brees, but in a lot of ways, I think he's a more complete runner than
Hmm.
Brees Hall is.
He runs angrier than Brees does. He runs with more viciousness than Brees does. And for me, it's not even really a matter of being the running back too and them being what should be a really good offense. I look at their offense and I see Garrett Wilson and Brees Hall, and then please God, somebody else step up.
Yeah, true.
Because Malachi Corley's not getting the work that you expected him to really get. Now, granted, he was only a third-round pick. Or second-round pick. You still kind of expected him to get more work there. For me, it's a matter of, like I said, who else is going to be able to make plays for them? And I think just this week is going to show, like, all right, we need to kind of get the ball in the young Bulls' hands out here. Let them put it in the end zone for us a couple more times. Loved Braylon Allen. I've been watching, pumping for Braylon Allen since he was 17 years old and a freshman at Wisconsin, begging for him to come to the Miami Dolphins in some fashion. And of course, he goes to the New York Jets.
Hey, I liked getting Jalen Wright. Just, I know we're getting a little bit off topic. Jalen Wright's not someone that you're picking up in fantasy right now, even with Raheem Mostert getting hurt because he didn't get the looks. Jeff Wilson's still there. But another rookie running back that is just kind of, he's forcing the team to make the decision that he needs to touch the ball more often is Bucky Irving.
Yep.
And he's another one that was super high on our list. I think that I had Jalen Wright higher than him, but you guys both, you and Austin, both had Bucky Irving very high on your list, and it's showing up. He's a receiving back that can also run the ball very efficiently.
He's more effective as a runner than Rachaad White is right now.
Rachaad White is zero efficiency. He had so much volume last year that people thought he was going to be good this year, but once Canales left, like, he is zero efficiency.
Well, it's not even that. Like, when you have a running back like Bucky, who's more of efficient of a runner, and he's also just as efficient as you in the passing game, he's going to end up getting more work because they're able to leave him out there. Versus when you're in, they know it's going to basically be a pass because they're not running the ball with you because it's going 1 yard ahead.
Exactly.
Like, so that's where I wouldn't be shocked to see Bucky start to, take over and make it become more of like a 60-40 split, or Rachaad just become more of the third down running back for him. So, yeah, absolutely love Bucky. Another guy that we need to give a mention to, we talked about it in our other episode, Sam Darnold is playing his ass off right now. And he's absolutely that I'm looking at somebody of rostering on my roster, on your roster. Yeah, good wordplay there, Holt. Good job. I need him on my team for him having Justin Jefferson and the way that Viking offense is playing right now, because injuries happen. And also my starting quarterback right now might not be giving me what I expected. I would rather have Sam Darnold over Trevor Lawrence in fantasy right now.
Agreed. Deshaun Watson. There's a lot of names that we can name. I think that Baker Mayfield falls into this category as well.
If you're a Tua owner, like if you were somebody that waited and you had Tua, Sam Darnold is a great guy to go out there and snatch up right now, especially because you're looking at a minimum probably of 3 to 4 weeks for Tua to be out, and that's that bare minimum.
And this is without Jordan Addison. We haven't even seen him really show up for them. I believe that he missed this week with injury.
Yep, he was out this week as well.
And that 97-yard touchdown obviously helped out the numbers. But it's more than just one big play. Like, it's the decision making, it's being smart with the ball, it's the running the offense. I mean, they just beat the San Francisco 49ers on Sam Darnold's back. Like, they didn't have to run the ball a lot. They didn't run the ball a lot. They didn't run the ball very efficiently. Like, Sam Darnold is the reason they won, and good defensive play. I think that he's worth rostering at the very minimum. If you have an Evan Ingram issue or a Jake Ferguson issue, then Hunter Henry, he looks like the answer potentially. I mean, the check down city over in New England. I mean, Hunter Henry, we know how good he is, and without having any real competition for targets, I mean, we're talking across the board: wide receivers, running backs, tight ends. There's nobody else that's catching the ball. as efficiently as Hunter Henry.
12 targets, 8 receptions for 109 yards.
Yeah.
The next closest guy had 5, and that was Ramondre Stevenson. So, that is showing you that, Hunter Henry is going to be the dude going forward. And I think he's rosterable to start over even some guys that you possibly drafted.
Yeah.
Depending on how week 2 goes for Kyle Pitts, because as of this recording, the Monday night game has not been played yet. Hunter Henry, if he's giving you that type of production, he might be somebody you'd pick up and start over Kyle Pitts.
And I wouldn't drop Kyle Pitts because of the boom.
No.
But I would drop a Josh Palmer or a Deontay Johnson. It's one of these guys that's on an offense that has 0 passing volume. I would absolutely drop those guys, pick up a second tight end, and run with Hunter Henry until Kyle Pitts shows up with more than just 3 or 4 targets and a touchdown.
Yep. And then, so the last guy that we want to talk about staying in the tight end room, Mike Gesicki, came out this week and gave you 9 targets, 7 receptions for 91 yards. He was the most targeted guy on the team. Now, Joe Burrow was really loving his tight ends in week 2. So it's how much is that going to happen going forward? You're hoping T. Higgins comes back. But Mike Gesicki, I think he's somebody worth picking up and keeping an eye on, especially like you said, if you're a Evan Ingram owner or somebody like David Njoku, to where they're just not giving you what you're needing right now. It's worth picking up. He's worth somebody to keep your eye on. He's got the athletic ability.
I mean, we do have 2 injuries in the tight end room. Jake Ferguson as well as Evan Ingram missing week 2. So it's easily, again, drop in some of these last round pick guys, people that you were taking a flyer on at wide receiver and running back and haven't done much. Dropping your backup quarterback if you have one of the elite 8, then picking up one of these tight ends is worth it, especially because you can start them right now, and hopefully these other tight ends get their head out of their ass and they start to play. Sam Laporta has looked absolutely horrible through the first 2 weeks. As far as the number 2 tight end taken, he has 0 touchdowns. He's getting targets in the red zone, but that's not enough. I'd rather a guy that's getting 9 targets in the whole game than a guy that had 2 targets, 3 targets in week 2. That's not enough.
Nope. No, it's not, Bob. But hey, you know what is enough? You guys hanging out with us. We appreciate you guys. Hit that subscribe button down below. Like we said, 500 subscribers, free jersey to come in. One of you people, free jersey. TulsiRoastTea.com. They are the sponsor at ProFootball_pod on their Twitter machine. Peace out. Peace out.